The hot summer sun beat down on Pinewood Hills. It was the kind of day when the air felt thick and sticky. Most people stayed inside with their air conditioners on, but not Olivia Jackson. After a long week of work, all she wanted was to cool off in the community pool. Olivia had lived in Pinewood Hills for 10 years. She knew most of her neighbors, and they knew her. But not everyone knew that she was the town's police chief. Olivia was the first black woman to hold this job in Pinewood Hills. She had worked hard to get where she was. She started as a rookie officer and climbed the ranks through hard work and dedication. On this Saturday, Olivia wasn't thinking about work. She put on her blue swimsuit, grabbed a towel, and packed a small cooler with cold water and a sandwich. She walked the short 10 minutes from her house to the community pool. The pool was part of why she bought her house here. She loved swimming and had fought to keep the pool open last year when the town wanted to close it to save money. When Olivia arrived at the pool, she smiled. Only a few families were there. Some kids played in the shallow end while their parents watched from pool chairs. An old man read a newspaper under an umbrella. It was peaceful, just what Olivia needed. She found an empty chair in a quiet corner and set down her things. She put her pool pass and keys in her bag and slipped into the cool water. The feeling was wonderful. The cold water washed away the heat and stress from her body. Olivia closed her eyes and floated on her back. For the first time all week, she felt relaxed. After swimming a few laps, Olivia got out to dry off and have some water. That's when she noticed a man watching her. He was tall with gray hair and wore khaki shorts with a polo shirt. The shirt had the neighborhood logo on it. His face looked red and angry as he walked toward her. "Excuse me," the man said loudly. Everyone around them stopped talking to watch. "I need to see your pool pass." Olivia nodded and reached for her bag. "Sure, I have it right here." "Actually," the man cut her off. "Don't bother. I know everyone who belongs in this neighborhood, and I'd never seen you before." Olivia stayed calm. This wasn't the first time someone had questioned whether she belonged somewhere. "Sir, I am a resident. I've lived here for 10 years. If you'll just let me show you my pass." "Listen," the man's voice got louder. "I don't know how you got in here, but you need to leave now. This pool is for residents only, not for—" He looked her up and down with a mean look, not finishing his sentence, but making his meaning clear. The pool area went quiet. Parents pulled their children closer. Someone started recording with their phone. Olivia took a deep breath. She had faced people like this before, but never so openly in her own community. "Sir," Olivia said calmly, "my name is Olivia Jackson. I live at 427 Maple Street, and I have every right to be here. If you'll just look at my ID." "I don't care what your name is," the man interrupted again, pointing to the exit. "I'm Richard Wilson, the pool manager. I know who belongs here and who doesn't. Leave now before I call security." A woman nearby stood up. "Richard, you can't just—" "Stay out of this, Karen," Richard snapped. "I'm handling a security issue." Olivia felt her heart beating faster. She wasn't going to be bullied, especially not in her own community. With a steady hand, she reached into her bag. What she pulled out next would change everything. Olivia pulled 2 cards from her bag. In one hand, she held her pool pass. In the other hand, she held something that made Richard's face turn pale. Her police badge. She didn't say a word. She just held them up for everyone to see. "Chief Jackson." Richard's voice was now small and shaky. I didn't know it was you." The pool area was dead silent. Everyone stared at Richard, then at Olivia, then back at Richard. Some people had their mouths open in shock. A few were still recording with their phones. "Yes, Chief Jackson," Olivia said in a calm, clear voice. "I am the police chief of Pinewood Hills, and I am also a resident who pays the same fees as everyone else to use this pool." Richard's face went from red with anger to white with fear in seconds. He now realized his big mistake. He had just tried to kick the town's top police officer out of her own community pool. I'm so sorry, he stammered. There have been problems with strangers using the pool lately, and I was just trying to do my job. Your job, Olivia said firmly, is to check everyone's pool pass when there's a good reason, not to pick out only certain people based on how they look. By now, more people had gathered around. Many of them knew Olivia from around town. Some had met her at community meetings. Others had seen her in her uniform at local events. That's our police chief, a man told his son. She helped find your bike when it was stolen last summer. An older woman stepped forward. Chief Jackson organized the food drive after the storm last year. She made sure everyone had enough to eat, even when the power was out for days. Richard looked more uncomfortable with each new story. He shifted from foot to foot and couldn't look Olivia in the eye. I didn't mean any harm, he said weakly. I was just following the rules. Which rules? Asked Olivia. The one that says you should check everyone's pass, or just people who look like me. Richard had no answer. He looked down at his shoes. More neighbors joined the group. Mrs. Rodriguez, who taught at the local school, put her hand on Olivia's shoulder. Chief Jackson helped start our after-school program, she told the crowd. She comes to read to the children every month. Mr. Chen, who owned the corner store, spoke up next. When those teens were causing trouble at my shop, Chief Jackson didn't just arrest them. She made them work at the store to pay for the damage and learn about responsibility. With each story, Richard seemed to shrink smaller and smaller. His job as weekend pool manager suddenly felt very temporary. Karen, the woman who had tried to speak up earlier, stepped forward. Richard, I told you when you took this job that you need to treat everyone with respect. This is exactly what I was worried about. Olivia raised her hand, and everyone went quiet. Even though she wasn't in her uniform, people still respected her authority. I don't want to make a scene, she said. I just want to enjoy the pool on my day off, like everyone else here. She turned to Richard. I think we need to have a longer talk about this, but not here and not now. I'll be at the community center on Monday at 9:00 a.m. I expect to see you there. Richard nodded quickly. Yes, Chief. I'll be there. I'm really sorry about all this. Olivia put her badge back in her bag. For now, I'd like to finish my swim in peace. The crowd slowly broke up. Some people came to say hello to Olivia, or to share a quick word of support. Others gave Richard angry looks as he walked away, his shoulders slumped. As Olivia went back to her chair, her phone buzzed. Someone had already posted a video of the incident online. It was starting to get shares and comments. Olivia sighed. Her quiet day at the pool was now anything but quiet. She knew this story was just beginning, and by tomorrow, everyone in town would be talking about what happened between the racist pool manager and the police chief of Pinewood Hills. By Sunday morning, the video of Richard and Olivia at the pool was everywhere. People shared it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Local news stations played clips of it. The phone at the Pinewood Hills Town Hall rang nonstop with calls from reporters. Olivia woke up to find 20 missed calls on her phone. Her friend Tasha, who worked at the police station, called again while Olivia was making coffee. Have you seen the news? Tasha asked when Olivia answered. No, I just woke up, Olivia said, rubbing her eyes. Turn on your TV right now, Tasha told her. You're famous. Olivia turned on her small kitchen TV. There it was, her face on the screen. The headline at the bottom read, Police Chief Faces Racism at Her Own Community Pool. The video showed everything that had happened yesterday. It showed Richard telling her to leave. It showed Olivia calmly showing her badge. It showed the neighbors telling stories about her good work in the community. Olivia sat down heavily in her kitchen chair. This was not how she wanted to spend her Sunday. Her phone rang again. This time, it was Mayor Thompson. Chief Jackson, the mayor said. I'm so sorry about what happened. I've called an emergency town meeting for tomorrow morning. We need to address this right away. It's my day off, Olivia reminded him. I already told Richard to meet me at the community center tomorrow. "This is bigger than just you and Richard now," the mayor explained. "The whole town is talking about it. People from other cities are calling us. We need to show everyone that Pinewood Hills doesn't stand for this kind of behavior." Olivia sighed. She didn't want to be the center of attention. She just wanted to do her job and be treated with respect, like anyone else. "Fine," she said. "I'll be there." After hanging up, Olivia tried to enjoy her day off, but her phone kept ringing. Reporters wanted interviews. Friends called to check on her. Even her mother called from 3 states away. "I saw you on the news, baby," her mother said proudly. "You handled yourself so well. Your father would have been proud." Olivia smiled at that. Her father had been a police officer too. He had taught her to stay calm in hard situations. He had died 5 years ago, but she still thought about his advice every day. By Sunday evening, the story had grown even bigger. National news shows were talking about it. People all over the country were sharing the video and commenting on it. Some people said Olivia should sue Richard and the town. Others said Richard should lose his job right away. A few people even said that Olivia was making too big a deal about it. Olivia ignored most of these comments. She knew that her next steps would be important, not just for her, but for the whole town. Meanwhile, Richard was having the worst weekend of his life. His phone was ringing too, but the calls were not friendly. People called him names and told him he should be ashamed. His wife was upset with him. His children wouldn't talk to him. Richard sat alone in his living room, watching the video play over and over on TV. Each time, he looked worse. Each time, he felt more ashamed. "What have I done?" he asked himself. "How can I ever fix this?" On Monday morning, both Olivia and Richard got ready for the town meeting. Olivia put on her police uniform, the one that usually made her feel strong and confident. Today, it felt heavy on her shoulders. Richard put on his best suit, the one he saved for weddings and funerals. Today felt a bit like a funeral, the death of his reputation in town. As they both headed to town hall, neither knew exactly what would happen next, but both knew that after today, things in Pinewood Hills would never be the same again. The town hall was packed. People stood along the walls because all the seats were taken. News vans with big satellite dishes sat outside. Reporters held cameras and microphones, waiting to catch every word. Olivia arrived 15 minutes early, but still had trouble getting through the crowd. People stopped her to shake her hand or pat her back. Some wanted to take selfies with her. Olivia tried to be polite, but she felt uncomfortable with all the attention. Mayor Thompson met her at the side door. He was a short man with white hair who always wore bow ties. Today his tie was blue with small white dots. "Chief Jackson, thank you for coming," he said, looking worried. "This is a big mess." "Yes, it is," Olivia agreed, "but we can fix it if we handle it right." They walked into the meeting room together. The noise of people talking stopped as soon as Olivia entered. All eyes turned to her. Olivia took her seat at the front table, next to the mayor and the town council members. One seat remained empty, the one meant for Richard. At exactly 9 o'clock, the mayor called the meeting to order. Just then, Richard walked in. He looked like he hadn't slept all night. His face was pale, and his hands shook slightly. Some people in the crowd booed when they saw him. Others shouted angry words. "Quiet, please," the mayor said, tapping his gavel. "We are here to discuss a serious matter in a respectful way." Richard took the empty seat, keeping his eyes down. He didn't look at Olivia. The mayor explained why they were all there, though everyone already knew. He showed the video that had now been viewed over 2 million times online. Then he asked Richard to speak. Richard stood up slowly. His voice was so quiet that people had to lean forward to hear him. "I want to say I'm sorry," he began. "What I did was wrong. I treated Chief Jackson badly because of how she looked, not because of who she is. I was wrong, and I am truly sorry." Some people nodded, but others called out, "Not good enough," and he should be fired. The mayor asked for quiet again. "Chief Jackson, Would you like to speak? Olivia stood up, tall and confident in her uniform. The room went completely silent. What happened to me at the pool happens to black people every day, she said. Most of the time, there are no cameras recording it. Most of the time, the person is not the police chief. Most of the time, nothing changes. She looked directly at Richard. I don't want Mr. Wilson to lose his job. That won't solve the real problem. People in the crowd looked surprised. They had expected Olivia to demand that Richard be fired. Instead, Olivia continued, I want us to use this moment to make real change in our town. I want training for all town workers about how to treat everyone fairly. I want community meetings where people can talk honestly about race. And I want Mr. Wilson to be part of this work, to learn and to help others learn. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Mrs. Rodriguez stood up from her seat. I support Chief Jackson's plan, she said loudly. My children have faced the same kind of treatment. We need to do better. One by one, other people stood up to support Olivia's idea. Mr. Chen from the corner store, the librarian, the high school principal, the pastor from the church on Oak Street. Richard looked up for the first time. He seemed surprised that Olivia wasn't trying to punish him. Slowly, he raised his hand to speak again. I want to help, he said, his voice stronger now. I want to learn and do better. I'm willing to do whatever Chief Jackson thinks is right. The mayor nodded, looking relieved. Then we have a plan. The town council will work with Chief Jackson to create these new programs. Mr. Wilson will help and will keep his job, but with special training. As the meeting ended, reporters rushed forward with questions. The mayor answered most of them, while Olivia stood quietly beside him. Richard approached Olivia carefully. Thank you, he said softly. You didn't have to do that. No, I didn't, Olivia agreed. But firing you wouldn't fix anything. Real change is harder, but it's worth it. As they spoke, neither noticed a man watching them from the back of the room. He wore an expensive suit and took notes on a small pad. On his business card was the name of a big city nearby and the title Police Commissioner. After the town meeting, life in Pinewood Hills started to change. The local newspaper ran a big story about Olivia's plan. Schools talked about it in their classes. Churches mentioned it in their Sunday services. Everyone was talking about what happened at the pool and what it meant for their town. 1 week after the meeting, Olivia sat in her office at the police station. She was looking over some papers when her secretary knocked on the door. Chief Jackson, there's someone here to see you, the secretary said. He doesn't have an appointment. Olivia looked up. Who is it? A man named James Wilson. He says he's from Capital City. Olivia remembered the man in the expensive suit from the town meeting. She had noticed him watching, but didn't know who he was. Send him in, she said. James Wilson walked into her office. He was tall with gray hair and dark skin. His suit looked even more expensive up close. Chief Jackson, he said, holding out his hand. I'm James Wilson, Police Commissioner of Capital City. Olivia shook his hand. Nice to meet you, Commissioner. What brings you to our small town? Commissioner Wilson sat down in the chair across from her desk. You do, Chief Jackson. I saw how you handled that situation at the pool. I watched the town meeting. I was impressed. Thank you, Olivia said. I was just doing my job. No, the commissioner shook his head. What you did was special. Most people would have demanded that man be fired. They would have sued the town. You chose a harder path that will help everyone. Olivia didn't know what to say. She wasn't used to such praise, especially from someone so important. I'm here to offer you a job, Commissioner Wilson continued. Capital City needs a new deputy commissioner, someone who understands how to build trust between police and all parts of the community. Someone like you. Olivia's eyes widened. Capital City was 10 times bigger than Pinewood Hills. The job would mean more money, more power, and more chances to make big changes. I'm honored, she said, but I need time to think about it. Of course, the commissioner nodded. Take a week. The job is yours if you want it. After he left, Olivia sat at her desk for a long time, thinking. This was a big chance for her career. But leaving Pinewood Hills would mean leaving her home and the work she had just started. That evening, Olivia went for a walk around town. She passed the community pool, which was closed for the day. Through the fence, she saw Richard Wilson, no relation to the commissioner, cleaning the pool area. This was part of his new duties while he took the special training. Richard saw her and waved. "Good evening, Chief Jackson." His voice sounded different now. There was respect in it, and maybe even a little friendship. "Good evening, Richard," Olivia called back. "How's the training going?" "It's good," he said. "I'm learning a lot. I never thought about how hard it is for some people, always having to prove they belong somewhere." Olivia nodded. "That's a good start." As she walked away, Olivia felt proud. Real change was happening, slowly but surely. Richard was learning. The town was talking about important issues. New rules were being made to make sure everyone was treated fairly. Could she leave all this behind for the big job in Capital City? When Olivia got home, she made a cup of tea and sat on her front porch. She watched as her neighbors walked by with their dogs or their children. Many waved or called out hello. This was her community. These were her people, all of them, even Richard. Her phone rang. It was Tasha from the police station. "Did you hear?" Tasha asked excitedly. "They want to do a TV special about you and what happened at the pool. They say it's an example for the whole country." Olivia sighed. She didn't want to be famous. She just wanted to do good work and make her town better. But maybe her story could help other towns too. As night fell over Pinewood Hills, Olivia looked up at the stars. She had a big decision to make, and not much time to make it. The next day, Olivia called a special meeting at the police station. She gathered all her officers in the main room. Some sat in chairs, others stood against the walls. All of them respected Olivia. She had been a good boss to them for 5 years. "I have something important to tell you," Olivia began. "I've been offered a job as deputy commissioner in Capital City." The room filled with surprised voices. Officers looked at each other with wide eyes. "Are you going to take it?" asked Officer Martinez, who had worked with Olivia the longest. "I haven't decided yet," Olivia answered honestly. "It's a big opportunity. But we have important work to do here too." After the meeting, Olivia drove to the community center. The first training session about treating everyone fairly was happening today. Richard would be there, along with other town workers. The room was full when Olivia arrived. She slipped into a seat in the back, not wanting to disturb the class. At the front of the room, a woman named Dr. Carter was showing pictures on a big screen. "This is called unconscious bias," Dr. Carter explained. "It means we sometimes treat people differently without even knowing we're doing it." Richard sat in the front row, taking notes. He seemed really interested in what Dr. Carter was saying. During the lunch break, Richard noticed Olivia and came over to her table. "May I sit down?" he asked politely. Olivia nodded. They ate in silence for a minute before Richard spoke again. "I've been thinking a lot about what happened," he said. "I want you to know I'm really trying to change." "I can see that," Olivia said. "My grandson asked me why people were calling me racist on TV." Richard continued, his voice shaking a little. "I didn't know what to tell him. I never thought of myself that way." Olivia put down her sandwich. "What did you tell him?" "I told him I made a mistake. I judged someone without knowing them, and I was wrong." Richard looked at Olivia. "I told him I'm learning to be better." Olivia nodded. "That's a good answer." After lunch, Olivia received a call from Mayor Thompson asking her to come to his office right away. When she arrived, she found the mayor talking with a man and woman she didn't know. "Chief Jackson," the mayor said, "these people are from the National Police Leadership Program. They want to talk to you about sharing your story with police departments across the country." The woman stepped forward. "What you did is exactly what we teach, using a difficult situation to build community instead of divide it. We'd like you to speak at our conference next month. Olivia was surprised. First the job offer, now this. Her simple trip to the pool was changing her life in ways she never expected. That evening, as Olivia was leaving work, she saw a group of teenagers hanging out near the pool. One of them was spray painting something on the fence. Olivia parked her car and walked over. "What's going on here?" she asked in her police voice. The teens turned around, looking scared. Then one of them smiled. "Chief Jackson, we're not causing trouble, I promise. Look what we're making." Olivia looked at the fence. The teens were painting a colorful mural. It showed people of all races swimming together in the pool. At the bottom were the words, "Everyone belongs here." The town council approved it, one girl explained. "Mr. Wilson is helping us. He's inside getting more paint." Just then, Richard came out carrying paint cans. When he saw Olivia, he smiled. "The kids had this great idea," he said. "I thought it would be good to help them." Olivia felt something warm in her chest. This was real change happening right before her eyes. As the sun began to set, Olivia watched the teens and Richard working together on the mural. She took out her phone and called Commissioner Wilson. "I've made my decision about the job," she said. "I'm staying in Pinewood Hills," Olivia told Commissioner Wilson on the phone. "The work I need to do is right here." There was a pause on the other end of the line. "I understand," the commissioner finally said, "but my offer stays open. If you change your mind in the future, call me." Olivia thanked him and hung up. She felt good about her choice. The big city job would have been exciting, but her heart was in this small town. She wanted to see the changes through. 2 weeks later, Olivia stood on a small stage at the community pool. A big crowd had gathered for what Mayor Thompson called Community Unity Day. News cameras were there too. The story of what happened at the pool was still getting attention. "Welcome, everyone," Olivia said into the microphone. "Today we celebrate new beginnings." She looked around at the faces watching her. She saw Mrs. Rodriguez with her students, Mr. Chen from the corner store, the teenagers who painted the mural, and Richard standing near the back, looking nervous but proud. "3 weeks ago, something bad happened at this pool," Olivia continued. "But sometimes bad things can lead to good changes. Look around you today. Look at how many different people are here together." The crowd clapped and cheered. The new mural on the fence shone bright in the sun. "Everyone belongs here" was painted in big, colorful letters. After Olivia's speech, the mayor declared the pool officially open for the summer season. Children jumped in right away, splashing and laughing. Parents set up chairs and umbrellas. Music played from speakers. Richard approached Olivia as she stepped down from the stage. "I have something for you," he said, holding out a small envelope. Olivia opened it and found a pool pass inside. It had her name printed on it and a star sticker in the corner. "It's a VIP pass," Richard explained with a small smile. "It means you never have to prove you belong here again." Olivia laughed. "Thank you, Richard." "I should be thanking you," he said seriously. "You could have ruined my life that day. Instead, you helped me become a better person." Later that afternoon, as the party continued, a woman approached Olivia. She wore a business suit despite the heat. "Chief Jackson, I'm Lisa Martinez from National TV News. We'd like to do a special report on what's happened here in Pinewood Hills. Would you be willing to tell your story?" Olivia hesitated. She was tired of being in the spotlight. But then she saw 2 little girls, one black, one white, playing together in the shallow end of the pool. Their mothers sat together, talking and laughing. "Yes," Olivia decided. "I'll tell the story. Not just my part, but what we all did together." "Great," Lisa smiled. "We'll need to interview others too. The mayor, some community members, and," she checked her notes, "Richard Wilson." "Yes," Olivia nodded. "Richard is an important part of the story." When Olivia told Richard about the TV interview, he looked scared. "They want to interview me. But I'm the bad guy in this story." No. Olivia shook her head. You're not the bad guy. You're the person who made a mistake and then worked hard to fix it. That's an important part of the story, too. Richard thought about this. Do you really think people need to hear that part? Yes, Olivia said firmly. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is what we do afterward. As the sun began to set on the pool party, Olivia sat with her feet in the water. Children still splashed around. Families shared food from a big potluck table. The mayor chatted with residents about their ideas for the town. Olivia's phone buzzed with a text from Commissioner Wilson. Saw your community event on the news. You made the right choice staying. But my offer still stands. Olivia smiled and put her phone away. For now, this was exactly where she needed to be. 1 month later, the TV special about Pinewood Hills aired on national TV news. People all across America watched the story of Olivia and Richard. The show was called From Conflict to Community: The Pinewood Hills Story. The program showed the original pool video that had gone viral. Then it showed interviews with Olivia, Richard, Mayor Thompson, and many town residents. It ended with scenes from the Community Unity Day celebration. The morning after the TV special, Olivia's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Police chiefs from all over the country wanted to talk to her. Community leaders asked her to speak in their towns. 3 book publishers wanted her to write about her experience. This is too much, Olivia told Tasha at the police station. I just want to do my job. But Chief, Tasha said, you are doing your job. You're showing people how to make real change. That afternoon, Richard came to Olivia's office. He looked different now. He stood taller and looked people in the eye when he talked. The training program is almost finished, he told Olivia. Dr. Carter says I've made real progress. That's great, Olivia said. What will you do next? Richard smiled. Mayor Thompson asked me to lead a new community program. I'll work with schools to teach kids about treating everyone fairly. Can you believe it? The man who was caught being racist on video is now teaching kids about not being racist. Olivia laughed. That's perfect, actually. You've lived it. You can teach it. The next day, Commissioner Wilson from Capital City called Olivia again. But this time, he wasn't offering her a job. We want to use your program as a model for our city, he said. Could you help us set it up? I'd be happy to, Olivia said. But Richard Wilson should be part of it too. The man from the video. The commissioner sounded surprised. Yes, Olivia said firmly. He's an important part of the story. Over the next few months, Olivia and Richard traveled to several cities together. They talked about what happened at the pool and how they worked together to make things better. People were surprised to see them together, but their story was powerful exactly because they were a team now. Back in Pinewood Hills, things were changing too. The town hired more black teachers and police officers. The community center offered free classes about different cultures. The local newspaper started a column called Our Neighbors' Stories, where people from different backgrounds shared their experiences. One hot Saturday in August, almost 3 months after the pool incident, Olivia finally had a day off with nothing to do. No speeches, no interviews, no meetings. She put on her blue swimsuit, packed her small cooler, and walked to the community pool. When she arrived, the pool was full of people, families of all races enjoying the summer day together. The colorful mural on the fence seemed brighter than ever. Olivia found an empty chair and put down her towel. As she was about to get in the water, she heard someone call her name. It was a little girl, about 7 years old, with dark skin and curly hair. Are you Chief Jackson? The little girl asked shyly. Yes, I am. Olivia smiled. I want to be like you when I grow up, the little girl said. My mom says you're a hero. Olivia felt tears in her eyes. What's your name? Maya, the little girl answered. Well, Maya, Olivia said, kneeling down to eye level with the child. I think you can be anything you want to be. And this pool belongs to you just as much as anyone else. Maya smiled and ran back to her mother. Olivia watched her go, then stepped into the cool water of the pool. As she floated on her back, looking up at the blue sky, she thought about how one bad day had turned into something so much bigger than herself. Sometimes, she thought, the most important changes start in the smallest places, even at a neighborhood swimming pool. 1 year had passed since the day at the pool. Pinewood Hills had changed in many ways. The town was now known across the country as a model for how communities could work together to fight racism. On a warm Saturday morning, Olivia stood on a stage in the town square. A large crowd gathered in front of her. Mayor Thompson stood beside her, holding a pair of big scissors. A large red ribbon stretched across the entrance to a new building. Today, Olivia said into the microphone, "We open the Pinewood Hills Community Center for Equality and Understanding." The crowd cheered and clapped. The new center would offer classes, meetings, and programs to help people learn about each other's lives and experiences. "This center belongs to all of us," Olivia continued. "It is a place where we can have honest talks about hard topics, a place where we can learn from our mistakes and grow together." Mayor Thompson stepped forward. "And there is no better person to lead this center than someone who has shown us all how to turn a negative experience into positive change. Please welcome the new director of the community center, Richard Wilson." Richard walked onto the stage, smiling and waving to the crowd. He looked so different from the angry man at the pool a year ago. His eyes were kind now. His smile was real. "Thank you all," Richard said. "A year ago, I made a terrible mistake. I judged someone based on how they looked, not who they were. I'm still sorry for what I did that day." He turned to look at Olivia. "But Chief Jackson taught me that saying sorry isn't enough. We have to do better. Every day, we have to work to be better people. That's what this center is all about." After the speeches, Mayor Thompson cut the ribbon. People cheered as they entered the new building. Inside, there were classrooms, meeting rooms, and a big hall for events. Photos on the walls showed the history of Pinewood Hills, including pictures from the day at the pool and the Unity Day celebration. As people explored the new center, a TV reporter approached Olivia. "Chief Jackson, you've been offered jobs in bigger cities with more money. National organizations want you to work for them. Why do you stay in Pinewood Hills?" Olivia smiled. "This is my home. The work we're doing here matters. And it's not just me. It's all of us working together." Later that day, Olivia and Richard walked through the town park together. Children played on the swings. Families had picnics on the grass. The community pool was visible in the distance, the colorful mural still bright on its fence. "Did you ever think," Richard asked, "that my mistake that day would lead to all this?" "No," Olivia laughed. "I just wanted to swim in peace." "Well, I'm glad things turned out this way," Richard said. "Not that I'm glad about what I did, but I'm glad about what we built afterward." They sat on a bench and watched the sunset over Pinewood Hills. The little town had become famous for something good instead of something bad. As they sat there, Commissioner Wilson from Capital City walked up to them. He wore a regular shirt and jeans instead of his usual fancy suit. "I have a surprise," he said, sitting next to them. "The president has heard about what you've done here. She wants to create a national program based on your work. And she wants you both to help lead it." Olivia and Richard looked at each other in surprise. "Us? Together?" Richard asked. "Yes," the commissioner nodded. "Your story shows that real change is possible, that people can learn and grow. The president thinks the whole country needs that message right now." As the sun set over Pinewood Hills, Olivia thought about how far they had come. From a heated moment at a swimming pool to a meeting with the President of the United States. It was hard to believe. "So," the commissioner asked, "what do you say?" Olivia looked at Richard. He had changed so much. The town had changed too. Maybe now it was time to help the whole country change. "I think," Olivia said with a smile, "that we're ready for our next challenge." Richard nodded in agreement. Together. The end.